Okay, so finding the angle of the trig ratios. So as we've said before, the trig ratios, we can remember them all by SOHCAHTOA. And if we remember sine, if we just do the sine one, sine angle equals opposite over, hypotenuse. All right, so what we're going to see is when we want to just find the angle by ourselves. So we just want to get this. So when we'll be given the opposite side length and we'll be given the h. And so we just want to, so say for example, I'll do an example over here. We've got the triangle, so we might have, this is the angle, and they might say the opposite's 5 and that is 6. So if you wrote out that rule, you'd have sine angle equals 5 over 6. So when you're trying to find the angle by itself, what you've got to do is actually, you want to move the sine part over the other side. And when you do that, it's called doing the inverse. So what it looks like is actually to the -1, 5 over 6. So where today, that's how you would find the angle. So today we're just probably going to practice finding those using where that inverse button is. So if you remember back in your calculator, when you're on a normal document, so see here we're on a normal document, if we press the trig button over here, that trig button, we get all the options. Now can you see underneath sine here is sine -1? Yep. And there's cos -1 and tan -1. So when you're finding the angle, these ones are for when you're finding the angle. So what you will plot in. So at the moment today, we're just going to practice typing that in and getting those angles done. And I will come and have around as well and have a look at your books to see where you've been going. So it says use your calculator in this example to find the nearest degree of that. So for us to find the angle, we're going to have to do cos -1, 4 on 7. So can you see I've done that? So I would have clicked this button here, opened the bracket, and then written that fraction. How do you get the fraction part on your calculator? The template. Control divide. Good. So control divide gives us the fraction template. And then you can type in. Now we have to make sure that it says degree up there. See? Degree, degree. Yes? And then if we said to the nearest degree, what would this answer be then? If it's 55.15, what's the nearest degree do you think?
55.
Yep, 55 because that was a 1, wasn't it? So 55 degree would be the nearest degree. All right? All right, so today we're going to look at finding the angle with the examples here. So just like all our other questions when we were finding the sides, we are still going to obviously be looking for SOHCAHTOA. So we'd write that up the top of our page because we're going to be using those 3 sine. They sometimes call them rules, sometimes call them ratios. Doesn't matter. That's what they're called. All right. You can only use these rules though if it's a particular type of triangle. And what is that triangle? Good. So we've got the right angle there because it's indicated here. We've got a right angle. So we've got to label our triangle and we should label the sides. So what is the side opposite the right angle? Always is the H. Good, the hypotenuse. Now, if the angle is this one here, then the side over here is the, over opposite. So that's the opposite. Adjacent means next to. So if I've got O and H, which rule has O and H in it? Sine. Good. So we can see that this rule had O and H. So you should, you should write out the rule all the time because you'll get marks for that. So O over H. Then substitute everything you know from your diagram. So I don't know what the angle is, but I know O is 4 and H is 5. Now, like what we did yesterday or the other day, we want to move this over here So when you do that, because we just want to know the angle, when you move it over the equals, it means you have to use the inverse. So sine -1 4/5. Okay, so you're going to have to type that in your calculator. So let's go and have a look at what that is. So we've done that on the calculator. And we've typed in this into our calculator. So we found that at the trig button. And remember, we can get the fraction template by going Control Divide. All right, and we've done that, and we found out that to the nearest degree, it was 53 degrees. So we're saying that angle up there in the triangle is 53 degrees. All right, so let's go again. So we're going to label the triangle. So what sides have we got here? We have this side would be the hypotenuse because it's opposite. Now, if this is the angle here, this one is right next to it. So what's the next to one called? Adjacent. Good. And then that makes this one the opposite. So we are looking for the rule that has the O and the A. Which one has O and A? Tan. Good. So we're going to go and write the tan rule out. Tan theta equals O/A. Type in what you know. So we know that O is 15, A is 5. So if we're trying to find the angle, boys, we're going to use inverse. Okay, so it was 71.5, so we're going to round to the nearest degree and say 72. All right, let's go. Have we got another one? So that's it. So today you will do the 9G questions.